Hi everyone, Tess here. It's been over a year since I've made a YouTube video and I have been wanting to get back into the swing of it for a while. So this morning, after I'd just done the hoovering and walked the dog, I made a cup of tea and I was like, you know what, there's no time like the present. I'm gonna sit down, strike while the iron's hot. So if I come to you a bit frazzled, a bit sweaty, a bit disorganized, apologies in advance. This is also the first time I've shown my face on a YouTube video. It's just easier to film this way, I think, but you can let me know if you prefer to just have a kind of top-down view. You don't really want to see me in it. So yeah, I guess grab a cup of tea and we'll talk through my journal ecosystem. I will try not to swing back and forth on this chair, which I'm kind of like used to doing when I sit in it, I notice. So yeah, I'm gonna try and look into the camera as well, because I think that's the best thing. I actually don't know. It's very odd filming yourself. It's yeah, it's just a very odd experience. So let me talk to you about my journals, and let me start with just thinking about journaling and journaling ecosystems in general. I love the phrase journal ecosystem, and these are probably my favorite videos to watch. But my journaling at the moment is a bit of a muddle. So when I first started journaling, and I've been journaling all my life. I have journals. My earliest journal is from when I was 5. I write about my 6th birthday in the journal and what I got for it. Obviously, it's you know, it's not the diaries of of like a great minder work. It's very childish and very scatty. But up until kind of 5 or 6 years ago, I was a person who had a single notebook, and I journaled in that notebook on and off. And I would go through a period of some months where I was in that notebook continuously, and then I might fall off for a little bit of time and get back on it. And there have been gaps in my life where I haven't journaled. I don't think that there will be gaps where I haven't journaled anymore, but I mean, never say never. I really don't feel like there will be. When I was in my early 20s and late teens, I feel you're more discovering yourself and who you are and the things that you like. And I find that as I get older, I become more set in my ways, maybe, or more sure of what it is that brings me joy and peace, and journaling is very high on that list. So I used to be a one notebook kind of girl, and I would start at the beginning of the notebook and I would end at the end of the notebook, and I had fountain pens all my life, pretty much. I had Lamy pens, and then I discovered a TWSBI again about 5-6 years ago, and I started getting into sort of bottled inks and that side of journaling. And I was painted in my journals and did different things. So I've always been a journal girly. Then I discovered Hobonichi, or rather I sort of discovered YouTube journaling, and through that I discovered Hobonichi. Before that I had Moleskines and Leuchtturms. That was what I had. And then I found Tomorrow River paper, and I started to get more or increasingly into dated journals and memory keeping, the kind of thing I was seeing more of on YouTube. And over the past year, for whatever reason, I feel like that slid away. I'm not interested in dated things so much, if at all. I'm not as interested in having the things that I see all the time online, although I think there is a little goblin in me that sits sort of like here on my shoulder who is very interested in having those things. But me, the core of me, is not. But I'm also not in a place where I'm starting in one notebook and going to the end. So I come to you with a journal ecosystem in transition, I suppose is what I'm trying to say, which is a polite way of saying it is a mess. Everything is a mess. But, you know, it's a good place to be messy, your journals, because it's just about you. In terms of planning, I can talk about this very quickly. I have this beautiful plotter, which I ordered from Yoseka. It's very hard to get them in the UK, but I saw this Bible plotter in blue a couple of years ago. Couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, I will be a plotter girly. I will be a sleek minimalist girly. That is a joke. You see from the background, I am not a sleek minimalist girly. I do love this, but I don't use it as much as I would like. And I am going to keep it around because I would like to, and I know that if I sell this, I will regret it and end up like buying it again. So I'm keeping it around. For the moment, I got the Bible weekly inserts, and I'm just using it to plan. As you can see, very, very messy, sort of planning with my appointments and that kind of thing. Nothing very exciting. If you like the Hobonichi weeks for planning, you will probably like this plotter format. Sorry, the dog is scratching at the door trying to get in. He can't. Toby? Okay. So yeah, I really like this. I don't think I will, in fact, I know I won't be using it next year to plan with. Instead, I decided to get a week's again to plan, and I got this really nice linen-y green cover. It's just very soothing and plain, but I think I'll feel good being messy in this, and at least I need a place to be messy when I plan. I decorated the front cover with this Adventure Denali sticker that I've been hoarding for years, and some bits that I got from Miso paper, but that's probably all the decoration I will do. And we can start our weeks next week. I think next week is the 1st of December, so really looking forward to that. That's planning. I have 2 dated things that I want to talk about now. The first is going to be another week's. So this cover, wow, it's so pretty. And when I saw it last year, I thought, oh, it's so pretty. I really want it. I need to find something that will work for this. And yeah, so I was doing media journaling in here. I decorated it up with some Erin Ware printables and things. In the months, I was tracking, did I track? If I walked that day, if I read that day, if I journaled that day, if I watched TV or a movie that day. I think that lasted in the months until about May. I just really didn't, it looked really pretty, but I didn't really see the purpose of it. Plus the little dot markers I used bled through, and that annoyed me. And then in the weeks, I would just sort of fill it out with what I did that week in terms of hobbies, things that I watched, lists of the music I was listening to, if a new album came out, if there was a book that I really enjoyed. And you'll see when I show you my other journals that it's just it's a bit small and a bit too scattered for what I actually like to do with media journaling, I'm finding. And so at the start of this month, I'm pretty sure I kept up with it, right? And then at the start of this month, I let go. And I'm fine with that. I used it for a good while. Another problem was I never really figured out what I wanted to do with the back pages, and I was just kind of doing more of the same. And yeah, I suppose I will cut these pages out and reuse them, maybe in my plotter. And I think it was nice. It was a way for me to kind of experiment in journaling that I see some other people do on YouTube and really admire, but is probably not the way forward for me. So that's gone. Bye-bye. It's really pretty, but bye-bye. The other thing which is not gone, but is definitely on pause, is my 5-year. So I filled out every day of this for 4 years. Like, I filled out every single day without fail, apart from the one day I didn't fill out, which was the leap year, like 2 years ago. I didn't fill this. I just made notes on the page because it was too intimidating. But otherwise, I filled it out. I put little ephemera on the side. I was very diligent and very dutiful. And then it was October, I think. October. Well, I'm sure you don't really care about the date. I'll keep flipping. But it was in October I just stopped. I just couldn't do it anymore. I really got to the point where I could not do it anymore. And I don't think I will, you know, there you go, October 25th, gone. I don't think I will put this away fully. I'm of 2 minds about it. The first thing is I have a year and a bit left in here. I've kept it up. I've broken the back of it. It seems like such a pity to stop. On the other hand, I feel like this is my hobby, not a chore. I have enough chores in my life. I'm not going to force myself to do something which has just felt like it was just, I know it sounds dramatic, but it really was like sucking the life out of me filling this in. And I would go back, I would leave it for 2 weeks and then I'd have to go back fill it. It was a huge pain. I feel free leaving this behind. So probably what will happen is at some point I will go back and redate this. Either I'll leave it for the rest of the year and then in the new year I will do 2026. And maybe the extra dates for 2025 I will leave blank, or I can go back and redate the whole thing. Maybe I can come back in 2032, 10 years from when I started, and kind of fill it out. It's very, very easy to redate this, right? It's like just, you know, you would just have to blot that out or cross that out. I mean, or make note to yourself that it was 2036. So it's waiting in the wings for when I'm ready for it again, and probably I will be ready for it again at some point. Okay, so now everything is down, so bear with me. Okay, so this is the first set of notebooks, and really the covers don't really mean much. I guess this is more of a journaling book. This is a very old Chic Sparrow that I got at a discontinued sale. I think it's called Bingley. I think it's an Austen Leather after Mr. Bingley. I'm not sure. But yeah, this has my Sterling Ink Common Planner. I'm trying to figure out how best to show you a thing like that. I got the A5 horizontal this year. And again, I was pretty diligent about this. I was filling it in different ways. I was filling it all in. I was doing my reading in these months, and I was filling out the weeks, everything that happened in that week. I was doing a lot of drawing that time, and pasting pictures in and different things, right? Different printables, different stuff. And I've just kind of stopped doing that. Again, since October, I just sort of let these be blank, and I'm fine with it. I think that I will probably just carry this book into next year, and just continue using it as a notebook because I love it. The Tomoe River paper in this year's Common Planner, as for many planners this year, is not great, but you know, I'm willing to bear with it. There, you can see I stopped. I'm willing to bear with it and to use ballpoint if I have to, as I go along. And in the back pages, in case you're interested, it's just, whoops, some stuff fell out, but that's okay. It's just journaling. And at the very back, I keep track of the TV shows and movies I've watched. I watched so many movies this year, I had to put a new piece of paper in. Games I've played, I've only played one game. Night Rain though, fantastic. Podcasts I've listened to, books I've read. Yesterday was a momentous day because I went over the page. And I also have songs, I think, yes I do, that I've been enjoying, which I haven't really kept up with that much. So yeah, that's that. And then this notebook is another Sterling Ink notebook. I will try and hold it up a bit higher. And in here I do a lot of sort of creative writing, which I won't show you because it's really just sort of, these are bits of paper, but it's really just kind of like writing. It's nothing exciting to see. I love the Sterling Ink notebooks though. They're so big and juicy and I feel like I can be in them for ages and create a little world in them. So that's lovely. I haven't been using these too much at the moment. But, you know, I will come back to them. I will show you the other things that I've been doing instead. Let's put that back there. Second Chic Sparrow. This is new. I bought this for myself for my birthday. It's an A5 Austen cover, Mr. Darcy in the Cascade. Yeah, I really love it. So pretty. I just have some stuff in pockets. Okay. First, in here, I have this really nice Leuchtturm. You know what? I'm going to take it out of the cover so I can show you a bit better because it's so nice. It's got these, I think it's called Bauhaus. It's got these sprayed edges that are blue and the dots inside are blue. I don't think you can really see on camera, maybe a bit. They look just grey in camera. You'll have to trust me that they are blue. And I really like it. It's cool. It's really enjoyable. And the index is blue, the printing on it. This is my personal, I think it's a personal curriculum. I might do a movie. I might do a YouTube video on that. But I make notes on, I'm really into at the moment kind of early English poetry, and very much influenced by Fredemology might be his channel. I can link him down in the description box. So anyway, these are some notes I made on Beowulf when I read it, and some words in Old English. I've kind of been thinking about learning Old English. Is that crazy? Yes, but I have done crazier and worse things for myself. Yeah, and I make sort of commonplace notes about Old English and medieval books that I've read, and so that's just what this notebook is for. I don't use it for anything else. I like having a specific place. If there's something that I'm obsessing over, I like to have a specific place in which I can obsess on it. Then I have in here also this. Again, I'll take it out. I think it's best to just take these things out. So bear with me. I should have done that before. But if you've made it this far, you're probably quite a patient person anyway. This is another Sterling Ink notebook. I would call this my special commonplace book in my head. I only commonplace in here things I love and adore. So books that I reread. This is a Fairy Tale Bluebeard that I commonplaced about a long time ago. So it's only for things that are very important, that I know I will want to keep around for an extremely long time. And I also have in here I got these stamps. I never buy stamps, but I had to buy these. They're like myths and legends of the British Isles, they might have been called. And I've just been carrying them around because they're too pretty to use at the moment, but they're lovely to look at. I thought about commonplacing each of these. I'll hold it the right way around. I thought about doing a commonplace entry for each of these creatures or myths, like, because there's Finn McCool is on there, and Beowulf and Grendel are on there, and then sticking the stamp at the top. I think I might do that when I'm brave enough to stick them in. I have some other pieces of paper that I'll come back to in here. So yeah. Books that I've been enjoying. There are also on the side some little like tabs. This section is for, so these 3 tabs are for specific things that I gravitate towards, that I want to keep my commonplace notes in one bit. So the first, this is for hauntings. So the Enfield Poltergeist, Borley Rectory, commonplacing about that kind of thing. The middle one is for Southern Gothic, and really it's kind of turned into American literature as a whole that interests me. So I had a big Cormac McCarthy kind of, again, personal curriculum thing. I don't really call it that, but I think that's the best way to think about it. So big Cormac McCarthy personal curriculum and all his novels. I didn't read the Border trilogy. I read everything else, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, notes from all his novels are in here. And then in the back is like my favourite books and films. And to qualify to go in here, it has to have been read 3+ times or watched 5+ times. So you have to be really special to get back in here. But yeah, so I have some loose paper floating about in this book from other commonplace projects that I decided I didn't want to do in the notebook they were in, so I pulled them out. The first is some notes that I made on Gothic short stories, so Algernon Blackwood. I'm more like weird short stories rather than Gothic, I would say. The other is on Lovecraft. And then I thought, you know what, I would rather have that in my special commonplace book, because I'm a child. And these are some film reviews mainly of Del Toro's films and Robert Eggers, who are probably my two favourite directors, at least at the moment. I watched on YouTube a short film of Robert Eggers's The Telltale Heart, based on the Edgar Allan Poe story. Highly recommend. If you liked The Witch or Nosferatu or The Lighthouse, if you like Robert Eggers, basically, I think you'd really like this. And it's only 20 minutes, it's really beautiful. You can kind of see the influence of silent film and suspense on him and his work already coming out in his early direction, and it's really great to see. Okay, so last thing in that commonplacey style notebook, which I'm going to just take out, is a reading journal. Again, a sterling ink. This is a B6, and I don't put every book I read in this journal, just books that I want to have to remember that I read or I've thoughts about. So again, the Cormac McCarthy novels are in here, and some other things that I've read this year. I started this, did I start it in August maybe? So I haven't got very far. I'm only on page 25, but yeah. And I made a little index at the front where I list the books and the page. So I'm being very diligent and very archival about it. Okay, we're getting closer to the end. So as I said, I've been restless, and all those books I just showed you, I'm not using them, haven't used them for probably a month, if not longer. Instead, I was in a traveler's notebook for a little bit, and same thing in here. I was doing the same thing. So I had kind of like commonplacey bits in this one. Sorry, more stuff is just falling out. Commonplacey bits. This is also commonplacey bits of things I read. It's a Rossetti exhibition that I saw. Plant from Italy. No, like notes on books that I read, some things I drew that I haven't filled out. It's just bitty. And same back here. Journaling mixed in with commonplacing, mixed in with ink swatches, some pre-decorated stuff I haven't used yet, but might at some point. That's it. And then I got bored of this. And that really dissatisfies me, because I feel like the reason I'm so bored is because I have so much stuff, and there is so much stuff. And probably if I just went back to that early time, I would be a one notebook at a time person. Not frustrated with it, I just think I haven't found a rhythm yet. You know, I'm in between things. But at the moment, I'm using 3 things. So the first thing that I'm using is this plain Midori B6 Slim notebook, because it's so, I don't want to say it's basic, because it's not. It's like really well made and really beautiful and very satisfying. I'm satisfied in it, and I am just writing in this. I am not decorating it, and I think that that's very helpful, actually, just to have a place where I can just write my thoughts down, say that I feel, you know, this, that, make plans for my day. This is really helpful, and I'm really enjoying it. So I would say this is the core of my ecosystem at the moment. This is the journal that I carry with me around the house, like not all the time, but you know, this is the journal that I go to first. And I also have 2 Leuchtturms on the go. The first is another notebook that I'm doing creative writing in, with stuff that I had written in another notebook stuffed into it. Again, it's just writing. It's not very exciting to look at. It's very pretty colour though. And then this one is, again, journaling and writing. It's not much. There's some ink swatches. But overall, it's just, as you can see, just my thoughts on the page. There's another picture. But mostly just my thoughts on the page every single day, writing projects and things. And I have about 100 pages to go in this, so I have quite a lot of this left. as I come to the end of this video, I sort of feel like, so my journal ecosystem is not an ecosystem. It is like, I don't know, it's a mess. An ecosystem is like a structured tiered system, and mine feels like it's just things that I'm using. But then again, if you like these kinds of videos, hopefully that will be of interest to you. If you've made it this far, well, thank you first of all. But second of all, I probably should say, you know, if you were expecting me to post more videos, I mean, I don't, yeah. If you were expecting me to post more videos, I feel awkward saying that, because I feel like maybe you think that I'm thinking I'm a bigger deal than I am. I'm not. If you had expectations of me because of what I put out there, and I didn't fulfill them, I'm sorry. This time last year, my grandmother passed away, and it was not unexpected in that she was in her 90s, but it was sudden. She was fine in the morning and the afternoon, and she died in the evening, and it was a very peaceful death, and I think it's what, you know, she would have wanted, what we all wanted for her. And I feel very fortunate and very blessed to have had her in my life. She was a really strong woman, really thought that education was like the most important thing that particularly a woman could have, coming from her perspective, but that anybody could have. And she encouraged my mum, and she encouraged me and my sister by proxy and directly to educate ourselves. And I owe a lot to her, particularly for that, for so many things, but particularly for that. And I guess after her death, you know, there's all the grief, and there's the kind of shift that happens in your family where, you know, I don't know, it just, she was, I guess I would call her sort of matriarchal figure, and certainly things have changed, and there have been other things that have been happening in my life and in my family, some really great things, but yeah, it kind of, after she died, it sort of put a pause on everything. And then when I had to get back to things, I got back to things like work. And YouTube sort of just fell fallow. And I have been wanting to get back to it, and I'm hoping I'll be more consistent. So in case you're wondering, that's what happened. That's the situation. Yeah. And if you are subscribed or you've watched my videos before, thank you. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. And I think I will make some more videos, some book videos, a video about personal curriculums, since I see that lots of people are doing that, and I would like to make my own. And perhaps a favourites video of things that I've really been enjoying in winter and autumn time, including probably this lovely cardigan from Amano that the day it arrived, I was like a child. I opened the packet and I just put it on. I haven't taken it off pretty much since. Yeah. So I'm obviously struggling to end this video, so I'm going to end it now. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or any feedback or any requests, please leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Take care and talk to you soon. Bye.